everyone. Welcome to another edition of Jay's Chop Shop. As promised, we'll talk about Kanye West, the boy genius who went from superstar to a person that not too many people like. We'll be talking about Malcolm Jenkins and Eric Reed connected to the Kaepernick situation. We'll also be talking about how black people are using the word nigga and how it doesn't sit well with me and it shouldn't sit well with a bunch of us. So that will be what we'll be talking about today. So what we're going to start with right now is Kanye West, big time superstar, worked his way up in the rap game. He became a mega star, did a lot of big things. But lately, he hasn't been people's favorite people. When I say people's favorite person, I mean black people. Going into the White House, talking with Trump, wasn't a good move in the black community. But then, right after, he took a trip to Uganda to meet the Ugandan president, which he gave out numerous pairs of his famous Yeezy sneakers that are very expensive and people all over the place, all over the city, all over the world yearn to have. Now, his agenda in this whole thing is, a lot of people don't understand that in Africa they have some of the best natural resources. So it was an agenda there. So what he's doing is Africa is somewhat becoming a new China where they're manufacturing sneakers, clothing, you name it. So a lot of people, Africans, are very upset about this, and it's also controversial because the president of Uganda, I'm pretty sure he's had some type of compensation for this. So what do you think about Kanye West going to Africa and somewhat setting shop up?
It's a big show. If you're going there for business, go there under the guise of business. Do not go there under the guise of being a humanitarian and then flip it to business. That means you're a con man. You used your good humanitarian image and use these kids as victims to open the door for a business venture. Why not just walk in the door and say it's business out the gate?
I mean, but we all have, this has been done plenty of times. I mean,
don't make it right.
I know it doesn't make it right, but Oprah Winfrey's done this. It's all business. Oprah Winfrey's done this.
Then Oprah's wrong too.
Water, Jay-Z has done this.
If everybody does that under the guise of doing business, then you say that when you come there. Don't use this as the come in. That's like Superman saves a woman at a party with the intention of sleeping with her later. That's my best thing, because if I'm a good guy doing good guy things, that should not affect my business. If I'm a businessman, do it as a businessman. So look, I'm giving out water while I'm here to make a business proposition. It makes a difference. You already know that the water is an add-on, not the door opener. That's just me. I wouldn't do that.
I understand your point. My initial thing is just to enlighten people who don't know that a lot of things that's going on now is Africa is becoming the new China. Africa is becoming that place where everybody wants to manufacture things and make large sums of money. And if you don't notice, a lot of people, Africans who really, and I don't want to offend anyone, who really love their country, are very offended by Kanye West going out there, and a lot of other people who are going out there with hidden agendas. So
there it is.
It's not a good thing, but it's business. And
if it's business,
not all business is good business.
No, but be it good business or bad business, the key word is it's business. Being a humanitarian, I don't see the word business synonymous with it. So don't go over there again and say, I'm here because I feel for all these people that are hungry. But by the way, while I'm here, would you mind if I do my new album here for a tenth of what it would cost me to do it in America? Say that when you come out the gate again. Be one or the other. Don't be two at the same time, because one is going to darken the other.
But here's
or one's going to lighten the other.
Here's the point.
What you're doing.
It's up to those who are in power, those who have the influence over there. He met the Ugandan president,
who's out for the money. Because if the Ugandan president was like Mr. Tutu when he was alive, when he was doing things,
Bishop Tutu
was all about the people. You never heard any stories about him taking any money or allowing anybody to come there to give gifts to his children as a door opener for a business venture. If you're giving my kids water, that's all I want. If you want me to go speak to the Ugandan president, take back your water. That's how he was. So that's where I'm standing with that. You probably got a lot of people A lot of
Yeah,
African
I mean,
brothers
I
who are
understand.
standing under that guys that.
I understand your point.
Okay.
I was just saying, well, we're just trying to enlighten people that this is what's going on
Oh, yeah.
in Africa. And Africa, like I'm going to close out saying this, Africa is becoming the new China. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is the current issue that just happened. We're going to talk about a real big issue. It's not a touchy issue. It needs to be talked about. We're going to talk about domestic violence. Recently, star running back from the Kansas City Chiefs, Kareem Hunt, has been exposed on TMZ assaulting a white girl in a hotel, where ultimately he was put on the NFL exempt list and he was cut from the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, another incident happened recently where another great player, Reuben Foster, former linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, has been recently signed or had the opportunity to work again with the Washington Redskins. And the issue we have with this is domestic violence is a big problem, and these big athletes, a lot of them are getting away with these things, but now the NFL has been laying the law down where they're not allowing guys to get away with certain things and do certain things as far as domestic violence and assaulting women, which is a good thing because no woman should be assaulted.
Absolutely.
There's no situation where you're in with a woman where you feel you need to put your hands on her, disrespect her, and assault her. So what's your initial thought when you heard the incident with Kareem Hunt?
My initial thought, it was heartfelt because I've been involved in such situations. And I felt for him because he falls under the guise of a young fellow who's come into a
Young black man.
young black man who came into money, where he came from no money, and it's that same story where they don't know how to handle their new fortune and fame. With all that fortune and fame comes responsibility. That's why if you can't handle it, you get people to handle it for you. A counselor, a bodyguard, a family, someone that could help you think when you're not thinking. Like, to bring something like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson at one time had been known for being a very explosive and angry man outside of the ring. Gus Diamante, what they did was to protect that talent for the ring. They hired people to babysit him. It's on you whether it's right or wrong.
Keep him out of harm's
Let
way.
him go have a good time. But the second it looked like he's getting a little crazy, your job is to get Mike out of there. Because Mike does not make money punching men, women, cat, dog. He doesn't make no money for nobody fighting in the street. So I need you to safeguard our investment so that he can make the money he's supposed to make with those talents in that arena. Ergay Kareem had none of that in play. He's 23 years old. Is he thinking like that? I doubt it.
Okay, here's my opinion on Kareem Hunt. He's a young man. He made a terrible mistake.
Yes,
I don't condone putting my hands on any women. I've never been in that situation.
Absolutely.
Never thought about that situation. So I feel for him in the sense that he's a young man. He made a terrible mistake. He lied. He shouldn't have lied. But I guess, when you're in a situation and you're under pressure and you panic, whatever was going on through his mind, he didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
And he ultimately paid the price because he's no longer in the NFL right now. He's on the exempt list.
Right.
And the way things are going today in this society, and I totally respect it. You shouldn't disrespect a woman, put your hands on a woman. He might not even play in the NFL again. And if he does, it's going to be real hard for him to get another job in the NFL.
I don't think it will be as hard for him because they're looking at he's a young fella. And though I have reservations about the interview with ESPN, he did come forth and make an attempt to make some kind of apology.
Ray Rice was a young fella. I mean, the difference with Ray Rice is, the reason why I say Ray Rice was a young guy too, but I guess the difference with Ray Rice is how he assaulted a woman that he's now married to. The magnitude he assaulted her in was way different than Kareem Hunt. But
on top of that,
even though he's still insulted. Assault is assault.
Right, but what Ray Rice was, the NFL really hadn't put anything in play to say that, to show their show of force when something like this happened. So Ray Rice became the first guy that they had to show that they meant business about these guys outside of the ring. So with him, I think it was a little overkill. You out a year or two, okay. You take anger, man, you do it. But to take his livelihood away. Because the average athlete, outside of their sport, they have nothing to offer in the business sense.
Everybody's not charismatic. Everybody's not
right.
a business
Everybody,
person.
like a lot of the retired players, how many of them are commentators? Only a handful. Because only a handful could actually do that job.
Now
how many of them become coaches?
Yeah,
only a
handful. That was years ago.
But
now,
outside of your talent in the arena, to lose it at such a young age where you haven't really grown other talents, like an actor. Most actors become directors during their career as an actor. They learn to go behind the camera. So when their acting career is over, they can do that.
Now the good thing is you see this in sports a lot. You see a lot of ex-basketball players, commentators now. You see a lot of ex-football. Now
they're good at it.
You're seeing more ex-football players, commentators. And you know, this is not a race thing here, but you know, I'm always for my people. I'm going to be unapologetic for that. But you see a lot of black athletes now getting these jobs that you never seen. When we were kids, you never really seen too many
players, period, and
or
then
ex-players that were commentators.
Most
you might see a commentator, but he was an ex-player.
Yeah, right.
So the good thing about these sports now, you're starting to see a lot of our ex-black players.
Oh, boxing too.
Commentators.
Because back then
and more importantly, speaking of boxing, who's going to tell you more about the boxing than a guy who's actually been in the ring?
Who's been in the ring.
Just like a guy who's been
a
guy who's been on the gridiron.
Yeah.
Or a guy who's been an NBA All-Star.
Right.
So,
but back to the whole thing,
right.
He's young, and he hasn't had time to grow into and realize the magnitude of what he got and his responsibility. Like, I'm going to say it on camera. If I had kicked that woman and got caught, nobody would really care except me, the woman, the police, and the lawyers. Or the judges, rather, I would say. Because he is a public figure now. Once you become any type of celebrity, football, basketball, acting, politics, you are a celebrity. You are a public figure. The expectations of you being responsible has gone up. And what happened in his incident was he wasn't ready for it. And when his friends tried to stop him, I don't know what neighborhood he came from, but I'm one of them dudes from the neighborhood is I'm not a guy you want to mess with because sometimes we lose it.
Yeah, but
and let me finish. If the right person isn't there to hold you long enough to say, my man, what are you doing? Breathe. You go, oh, yeah. Yo, I'm so glad you're here. But nobody was able to hold him long enough for him to catch his breath. I don't know.
This is where I feel I need to interject.
Go ahead.
We can't keep using as excuse. We can't keep using how we came up or how we are because you got to evolve.
But you can because it still exists.
That's my point. You're in a privileged position where you're making large sums of money and you're gonna blow that for losing your cool for 30 seconds.
It happens. How long?
But no, where's the responsibility at?
The responsibility is of the people that got him to that point. Like Chris Carter said, somewhere in there between Pee Wee football and the NFL, somebody in there is supposed to make it a point to sit these fellas down and start to cultivate them into the responsibility, but not enough. It doesn't happen until somebody kicks some woman, puts somebody down the stairs, threw a bottle, wrecked the car.
No, I feel that's an excuse. No, you gotta look like this. If someone guides you, right, and you live the dream where you're rich, and someone guides you, and you're playing a professional sport. You have to take onus too. If I guide you to this point and you got to get over to that point, I gave you enough where you need to make it to that point.
Me.
So you got to take responsibility.
But obviously it looked like nobody guided him.
You said it looked like. You're not sure.
Because I don't know his background. If I knew his background, if he was my neighborhood, I could say, yeah, I remember when he was on the field. Right, if he didn't get the ball when he went to the locker room, he kicked the locker.
Here's another point.
I don't know.
Here's another point too, right? That we have to do. We have to start making excuses. Like I said,
we don't have to start making. We have to start owning up. Because
we have to take onus.
But you're saying an excuse. It's not an excuse. Those are reason and fact. You know what excuse is? Something I hope that will let me off the hook. Because I'm sorry, I'm only 19. No.
So you okay?
What I'm saying is we got to come up with something so that you can't use the fact that you're black or you're 19 or you came from a one-parent home or you came from the ghetto. We got to come up with things that doesn't become prevalent all the time.
And I totally agree with that because there's plenty
But
of
this
people.
is what Chris Carter said. There's nothing in
all right,
play
but listen
between
what
the
I'm
time
saying.
you.
I totally agree with that because there's plenty of people who came from one parent's homes or didn't even know their parents and they excelled in life.
And they're called the exception.
So okay, so still,
But
but they didn't make no excuses.
But no, they didn't make no excuses.
Here's the thing I wanted to say
They had
too.
in play
Okay, but
exactly
listen.
what they need. A healthy cultivation
All right.
that would prepare him. That it's like a boxer. I can tell you everything about getting hit. It's not going to come to realization until you get hit.
Of course. But
And then I teach you more from there. See, when you got hit, you felt this. This is what I need you to do. This is what you do in the corner between rounds. I readjust everything what's going on because I don't know what the other fighter's going to do till the fight starts. He might be a slugger today, but today he brought the tapes. I got a box will, and then he boxes you, and now you have to adjust the fact that ain't the same fight I prepared
all right,
for.
but listen, here's
Intervals.
Here's what I want to say. And,
Okay.
you know, it may sound like a bad thing, right?
Okay.
But sometimes you have to use other people's situation as an example for you not to get caught up. How many times? And I'm going to keep saying this because he's a young black man in white America. Let's just say what it is. How many times are we going to keep getting caught up doing something when we already saw someone else, another black man or woman did something wrong and see what happened to them? Sometimes you have to use things as an example. This ain't the first time someone assaulted a woman and messed their career up. So why would you go right behind it and do that? You got to use things as an example.
It's like a bank robber. Nobody robs the bank with an intent to get caught. Every time a guy sees an incident like that when we're young, that'll never be me until it's you.
Yeah,
I would never put my hands on a woman until it's you, and then you go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that."
Still, how many times this gonna keep
until something is in play that works effectively to a degree.
Okay, here's another point I want to make.
You want to get a kid counseling after
if
they put something in play before, because now we're not talking about. But
you gotta look at it like this. Things are put in play. It's up to you.
No, Chris Carter said not when it comes to domestic violence. They just starting to address a proactive approach before he smacks the young lady.
Okay, when it comes to domestic violence, right? Some things aren't put in play, right? You mean to tell me he never heard about what happened to Ray Rice? You mean to tell me he never heard about what happened to Greg Hardy?
But once again, he said to himself, "That'll never be me." It ended there because he was his own counselor.
I'm not going to go with that because I don't know that.
Okay, so
I mean, that's your opinion. You're entitled to that, but I'm not going with that.
On his actions.
I'm not going with that.
Okay, so here you can defend him right now on his actions.
And it's not a defense of him. I'm just saying.
In defense of solution.
I'm just saying using your head, thinking before you move.
Some people don't do that well. That's why we got coaches on teams. That's why the coach sends the play in from the line. The trainer of the boxer has a minute to talk to him between rounds.
Okay, so what I'm saying is here's something else I want to talk about. Right. Whatever happens to Kareem Hunt, good luck to that brother. I hope he gets some counseling.
Please.
If he needs so. Maybe he will be willing to apologize. Doesn't matter what color the woman is. You shouldn't assault a woman.
Yes.
Put your hands on a woman,
yes.
right?
Yes,
so
yes, absolutely.
I just want to say that about Kareem Hunt. Now, another issue. Brandon Browner. Super Bowl champion. Brandon Browner was the guy who intercepted the pass when the Seahawks played the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
ESPN today says Brandon Browner is facing 8 years for trying to kill his ex-girlfriend.
Again.
So when I heard this, right, I said to myself,
I didn't get a chance to read that one.
When is this going to stop? As black men who worked hard to get to a position where they're able to make money, where they can really take care of their family and live a great life, why would you blow all that? For not just saying like say you blow that for a woman, but blow that just to attempt to try to take somebody's life. All that hard work you put in.
There are, believe it or not, there are men out here who have a problem with controlling their temper in extreme measures. And how extreme measure could that woman have been? She was an extreme enough measure for his lack of thinking to come up with such a plan. That's what that is.
And you know what that is, in my opinion? And I'm going to say this.
Excuse?
No, not an excuse.
That's reality.
That's a sign of weakness.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to tell you, let me tell you why it's a sign of weakness. Because you should never let anyone, no matter if you're in love, you're emotionally attached to them, get you to the point where you're willing to risk your freedom because you're frustrated.
But it happens.
It's called, like, where's your self-control?
Some people don't have it.
When you going to get it?
Sometimes
don't you want it? That's what I'm saying.
Everybody, you know what? Sometimes a cat don't know what he got or don't got until somebody, like a woman. There's no woman out there walks out here with the intent to fall in love with a guy to the point where he leaves and she feels like killing herself. Is it reality? Yes. It's out there. There's somebody in therapy right now because some guy left her. Never laid a hand on her. He was just everything she ever wanted. And one day he woke up and decided he didn't want to be there no more. She wasn't prepared for it and it rocked her. She didn't know it was going to rock her like
I
that.
understand that.
So what I'm saying is...
And that could go vice versa. But my thing is...
both sides.
My thing is...
Same thing with the guy that picked the girl up and slammed her.
Like I said, I'm going to be unapologetic about anything I'm going to say. I feel that's just a sign of weakness.
You know what? Everybody's not as strong as you.
Everybody don't have to be as strong as
yes,
me.
Yes, they do. If they're going to do what you're doing...
I'm going to tell
everybody needs to be as strong as you.
I'm going to tell you what it is. That's a sign of weakness.
But I'm telling you, everybody's not as strong as you. Because if everybody was as strong as you, Kareem Hunt would have kicked that girl. The other guy would have tried to kill this girl. Ray Rice, they all be great NFL players with no incidents like this. They're not strong enough. Think about it. If everybody was strong enough, we wouldn't need psychiatrists. If everybody abide the law, we wouldn't need police.
Kareem Hunt, Brandon Browner, and whoever else is out there, stop being weak. You don't disrespect women. You don't put your hands on women. And everything ain't going to go your way. You ain't going to have good days all day. So stop being weak.
To all the black men out there involved in domestic violence, be man enough to admit to yourself that you need help and go get it.
Now,